Welcome to the January 2026 study session of the Livonia City Council. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Honorable Eileen McDonald.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Congrats on that. Was your first pledge. It's a monumental.
This meeting sets the agenda for the 2034 regular meeting, which is a voting meeting that will take place on Monday, February 9th, 2026, where tonight's items will be officially voted on. Tonight, we are just missing Councilwoman Tashnik, who is at home recovering from major surgery. One note, agenda item number 12 has been removed from the agenda. Before we jump into audience communication, we're going to have our Director of Government Affairs, Erica Smith. She's actually going to read the letter that was sent to council from the mayor's office earlier today. We just want to make sure everyone has the full message.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Council President. Reading the letter that council members received today from Mayor Brosnan. President Reed and City Council members, we have been in touch with many of you since Friday regarding the Livonia Police Department's policy related to immigration issues. By the way of an update, the LPD is in the process of amending its policy to better align with the legal obligations of municipalities, specifically as it pertains to federal immigration law and the practice of notifying Customs and Border Patrol based on traffic stops. The city administration understands the gravity of the situation. We understand that local resources should not be diverted for immigration status enforcement. We are working with police leadership, outside agencies, and our community partners to ensure that everything we do improves our community's safety. Good policy requires ample time for proper judgment and discernment. As such, the LPD administration has been working with other local agencies and in conjunction with legal experts to continue to prioritize public safety while building the trust and security of all residents in our community. Sincerely, Maureen Miller Brosnan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and now we will move on to audience communication. Much like during the regular meeting, we've set aside 30 minutes for audience communication for items that are not on the agenda. You will have 3 minutes. Ms. Budzinski will be taking the time on our clock. And just a reminder, we do not respond to each comment, but we may respond during our council communications afterwards. And if you would please direct any comments to me, that would be great. And please state your name and address for the record.
Steve King, Coventry Gardens. ICE agents are federal law enforcement officers whose authority is limited. This is the law. This is the law as written. Is limited to immigration and related federal crimes. They are not general police with broad authority over local communities. The 10th Amendment, I want you folks to do a little homework and look at the 10th Amendment. It divides the power between the feds and the individual states. The Supreme Court has already ruled on this. We have no obligation to help those people in any way, shape, or form. Okay. I want to push back against something else that was said last meeting. When it comes to, we were told prices always go up, prices always go up. No, they don't. Building materials like lumber, steel, concrete, and asphalt are commodities, which means prices fluctuate based on supply and demand, trade tariffs, and global market trends. They don't always increase. I know, I'm a builder. Sometimes they drop significantly. For example, lumber prices fell sharply after the 2020 spike. With the new tariffs, Canadian lumber is way up. Copper, sometimes it's way up, sometimes it's way down. Prices go up and down. It's a commodity. That's how it works. So, I want to touch on something Robin said. Somebody bids a job at $100,000. They complete the job for only $50,000. That's called overbidding. Overbidding. There's reasons they do it. They build on certain things into the contract to cover themselves. So anybody who's coming under bid after bid after bid, they're overbidding. It's really not that hard to understand. Wanted to address Mitten. I won't be able to do it, but There are certain questions council should be asking before claiming cost savings. What specific dollar savings has the city realized from using Mitten compared to traditional building methods? Can staff provide side-by-side price comparisons showing Mitten bids versus non-Mitten bids for similar purchases? How many vendors actually responded to each Mitten posted bid, and how many were local or regional businesses? Did any vendors decline to bid because of Mitten subscription fees or platform barriers? And there are many, many other questions. You have on the next agenda, you have something on my deal, which the research I've said, my deal seems to be better than Mitten in some cases, and I think Brandon will speak to that. But we have got to start examining every penny, every bid, every time. Thank you.
Thank you. Name and address for the record, please.
Eric Fitzpatrick, Rosedale Gardens. I'd like to continue where I left off. I got a lot of information here. Again, I would like to see outdoor lighting policy address excessive illumination levels, because you get the new technology, which is LED, more lumens, more brightness per watt, and it's just opened up a lot of opportunity for abuse. You can see this in Livonia, but when you look at some of the other communities, especially to the southeast, all you got to do is look around. I invite you just to look around and look at some of this stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, really? My poor retinas. I'm getting a little older now. I'm starting to get this cataracts, and that's starting to, interfere with my vision. I know there's a lot of people older than I am, so it's a safety issue as well. Not only is this stuff obnoxious, heaven forbid, you're the person who has to have one of these gas stations or whatever it is shining into your bedroom window all night long, where you can literally grow plants from it. The only thing you can do really is, put aluminum foil over your windows to prevent this. And I see this in Livonia, especially along Plymouth Road there, with those pergolites or whatever you want to call them. And with the dealerships, even though they follow the policy that they're full cutoff optics, they ratcheted up the intensity so much that it reflects off of other surfaces, and it's still lit up like that day. Like I said, I'm 3/4 of a mile plus away from this. My sky's lit up like Chernobyl. I literally last time looked at the council meeting minutes. I read them without assistance, without my eyes, becoming adapted to the night, with no problem. This is insanity. It wasn't like that before. I've been in this city ever since I've been born, and it's ridiculous. But I know I'm running out of time here. The next thing is another reason Livonia should consider this, enforcing this and ratifying it, is you look around. I've been studying this stuff for over 40 years, and places like Hilton Head, the Hamptons, Sedona and Prescott, Arizona, here in Troy, Michigan, San Diego, higher class communities, more desirable places to live in. They don't put up with this crap. But you look at some of these communities to the south and to the east of us, maybe not as desirable as Livonia, let's face it, and you see this obnoxious lighting I'm talking about. It's ridiculous. I invite everybody just to go, when you go across Inkster or south of Joy Road, you look at some of these gas stations, you look at some of these convenience stores. I don't think we want this in Livonia. I think we want to look like the higher class neighborhoods, not like the garbage and the ghetto, trashy, prison yard, Chernobyl lighting. And I'm just saying, let's review this, let's look at this again, and just be aware of it for starters. Thank you.
Thank you. Name and address for the record, please.
Lori Livonia, or Lori Shook, sorry, Livonia. I'm going to just speak briefly about the subject that I talked about earlier about ICE. I think there was a little bit of misinformation that was given out, and I'd kind of like to correct it. Somebody said that all these immigrants should all be gone because they're all criminals, because just being here is being a crime. Seeking asylum in this country is not a crime. Do we need a better immigration policy that it doesn't take decades for them to go through and finish it? Absolutely. But people are being taken when they show up for their asylum appointments. That's wrong. DHS's own website, Christine Ohm was on the air, and she made a comment that 90% of the people that were detained are criminals. And their own website it was 47%. So when she was corrected, she's like, oh, that's probably false. I'll need to correct that. So it's probably wiped from their website now. But so if it's 47%, which I think it's probably still high, but I don't have the data, that means the majority have no criminal records. That's disturbing. And then there was another comment saying that, you know, in Detroit, we're not doing this. Our Detroit DHS isn't doing this. They are. We know they are. I've been a peaceful protester for 10 years. Unfortunately, I ordered a gas mask. I've been out at the DHS. I have seen them with their cars and vans taking people away. They're flying them now out of Willow Airport. So saying that this is not happening in Detroit, I just gave an example of Fraser. It's not the only community that it's happening in. It's wrong and it needs to stop. So that's it for ICE. I hope I got my point across, but I do have a couple other things I wanted to say. Snow plowing. I am a 68-year-old widow, just had recent wrist surgery. It took me a few hours to bang out the end of my driveway, the chunks of ice, and there are plows that have a gate that they can stop in front of driveways to not push the snow. I would like us to kind of investigate that. I know there's cities that use that. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know if it's feasible, but I'd like it to kind of look at that and see if that's something, because we are an older community. I do have somebody that does my snow, but they don't come back when the plows come. That's up to me. And then the other thing is the new trash company. I don't know what their names are. But since we've had them, I have not had one time where I haven't had to go outside and pick up recycle stuff. And it's not even mine. You know, some of it's mine that blows out, but it's my neighbors. I get boxes, everything. So I wish they would take care of that a little bit better instead of it. You got it.
Thank you. That is time. Name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Christopher Martin, great state of Michigan. Been attending these meetings actually for decades, before any of you up there maybe got your driver's license even. But so it's very nice to see people.
My bad.
It's okay. I forgive you. It's very nice to see people coming up here under audience communication and actually using it. There were times when I was the only one here. Audience communication. I do like the clock. Instead of an abrupt time's up, off with his head, there's actually something that you can look at and kind of wind it down on your own. Like the fact of no texting. Last council meetings, it wasn't surprising at all to have 4 of the 7 on their phone. It's a voting meeting. You don't know what they're doing. No communication between people, okay? No passing of notes, no whispering. So there was whispering. Let's try to stop that. My biggest one, no eating, okay? Started my career as a production line welder. You couldn't even go to the bathroom without having somebody replace you, okay? And to this day, it still operates like that. One other thing, and this was kind of disturbing. I'm looking at the clock there. It also gives 84 degrees. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of hot air that Robin said at the last meeting. The end of the meeting, she thanked people for being here. We'd be very clear about this. I attend these meetings a lot. I had never seen her in this auditorium prior to being elected. Never saw her at one of these podiums prior to being elected. When you have money, and I'll talk to you, Kaylee. When you have money and send flyers out, okay, it kind of helps your campaign, okay? But I really talk, that type of talk, like that individual is here on a regular basis, I had to say something about that because that's just nonsense, okay? That's exactly what that is. So I got 20-some odd seconds left. So usually I don't finish ahead of time, but on this particular one I will. Can't think of anything else that I haven't mentioned prior. So I do like the way the meetings are being run now, okay, as far as the clock.
Thank you. Okay, anything else from the audience? Anything from council? Mr. McCullough?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just, touching base on some of the stuff. One thing, and we don't have to have a motion here, but I'd like to see if I could have it added to the next agenda, is to put the subject matter topic of exterior lighting, luminosity into the Law and Education Committee so we can look at it. The gentleman does bring up a great point. As great as LED lighting is, saving the environment, sometimes it's so bright and everybody goes, oh, it's only 60 watts, which is great. But a lot of times, like when you build a new building, there's a luminosity, there's a lighting engineering plan, the photometrics plan. And what happens on a lot of these buildings when they retrofit, which is good, you want them to retrofit to LEDs, they just go out and buy the brightest thing and they just aim it. So we've had it where a few gas stations actually in the city, and a big kudos to Jerome Hanna and our ordinance, that have went out there and said, hey, dude, that is shining right in. And, Robin could probably attest to this. That's a liability, because what happens if a driver's going down, gets blinded, runs into something? So there's a lot of liabilities that you would never think of in the world of LEDs. So that is the basis for it. It's not going to get voted on here, but I'd like to see if we can add it to the agenda. Second issue, if you've got recycling issues, call our DPW. They have a line right to priority, something with the route, and they'll be more than happy to take care of it. I've had the same issue, and it was a done deal the next day. So follow up if you have, but I guarantee you won't have to follow up. Mitten versus my deals. Mitten is, now I got to tell you, Mr. King, I will disagree with you on Mitten just slightly, because I can tell you that when I started, a lot of people know I work for Northville Township, and before Mitten, when I got there, they would go to the Northville Herald and put it on page 72 in the microscopic things. And a lot of times you would get the bidders that you wanted because nobody else would know about it. I just did I'm going to bring it up because it's negative temperatures, but it was a landscaping lawn cutting bid for all the township properties. We had 25 companies. The whole place, it would have been packed, which is good. You throw it out there. So I will tell you that Mitten, mitn.info, is the place. It's like the eBay for bids. Now, My Deals is the cooperative purchasing agreement. So Mitten's just basically the platform for selling, platform for bids. Thank you.
Anything else from council? Mr. Brockway?
Yes, through the chair to Mr. Fisher. I was just wondering if there is any kind of regulation or route that we can take as a council in order to make or work with the administration to make a proclamation regarding making March Hashimoto month within the city of Livonia. Is there anything that we actually have to do as a governing body that we could make a proclamation such as that? First off, just that question.
The body is free to offer a resolution to that effect.
Okay. What I'd like to do, put it up for discussion perhaps in the next meeting, is to start working with the administration. I've been approached by a few residents that would like to kind of not so much celebrate, but bring to the attention Hashimoto's disease, which is kind of a severe illness. And I'd like to kind of have the council kind of bring that to the forefront in the month of March. I'm not sure if we'd need a resolution to...
Sure. So I think if I'm understanding you correctly, your intent at the next regular meeting is to offer a motion to the effect that council resolves that the month of March will be Hashimoto's disease awareness month, something
Yes.
of that nature? Okay.
Yes.
Understood. Yeah, I think it would be appropriate to make that motion at the next regular meeting.
Okay. That's the motion I wish that...
Okay. Anything else from council? Ms. Budzinski?
I didn't make my normal, just regular news announcement. So I will just say the library does have a new permanent director. Lindsay Frick was appointed from
a temporary to permanent library director. I sat in for parts of the library commission meeting. I just happened to be at the library that day, and my kids only let me stay for a while. But on the kids' note, some exciting news. We do have 2 new Nintendo Switches available for rental at the library, including with our hotspots. So it's a special agreement, but it's totally free. You know, if you have kids and they like video games and you don't want to invest in a console, it's just one of the many fun things that we have in the library of things worth checking out. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from council? Go ahead.
Through the chair to Councilmember Bazinski, do they have Super Smash Brothers, though? I mean, if they got the Nintendo Switch, do they have Super Smash Brothers there?
They do, yeah. You can always check out the games. I mean, we have games for I think all modern consoles. Probably no Atari, but.
Okay, well, there you go, Livonia. You got Super Smash Brothers at the library. Done.
All right, let's move on to our new business agenda. Item number 1. This is a request to waive the city's noise ordinance. This comes from Robert Reyes with the Knights of Columbus. And it's in regards to allow a car show with a DJ. It's at St. Colette's Catholic Church at 17600 Newburgh Road on Saturday, June 6, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Is Mr. Reyes here? No? Mr. McCullough?
So I think he was here at the beginning of the regular. So I did see him for what it's worth. A lot of times, you know, we generally like to hear from the petitioner. With it being the late night and seeing that he was here and seeing that this is an event that's been going on for a very long time, I'd be happy to offer and approve it on consent if there are no objections.
Council? Anything from the audience? Okay, we will put item number 1 on the consent agenda for February 9th, 2026. Okay, moving on to item number 2. This is the reappointment of Mary Cellino to the Livonia Board of Review. This comes from the Office of the Mayor. This is for a 3-year term, which will expire on February 16th, 2029. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Mary Cellino, 34355 Ann Arbor Trail.
Welcome. Anything from council?
I'd like to offer an approving on consent.
Okay. Anything from the audience? All right, you will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, item number 3. This is a reappointment of Laura Weingarten to the Livonia Board of Ethics. This comes from the Office of the Mayor. It's for a 3-year term, which will expire on March 1st, 2029. Hello. How are you?
Hi, I'm Laura Weingarten. I live at 32941 Southgate Street.
Thank you for coming. And anything from council? Mr. Fisher, sorry.
So, thank you, President. As many of you may know, my office works closely with the Ethics Board. Laura's been a longtime member. We're extremely pleased with her service, and we're grateful for it. And we're asking, on behalf of the mayor and the law department, that council can consider reappointing her.
Council?
I'd like to offer an approving on consent if there's no objection.
Okay, anything from the audience? All right, this item number 3 will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4, request to approve location and schedule of dates and times for the 2026 Board of Review meetings, compensation rates for members, and 2026 hardship guidelines. This comes from the Department of Assessment, and it's in regards to the requirements of the State of Michigan Statute MCL 211.30 and MCL 211.7U.
Good evening, Jacob Liberati, Assistant City Assessor.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how about you?
Good.
So I'm just here for our annual Board of Review updates. This sets the 5 dates we offer for the March Board of Review. It sets the payment for both the chairperson and both members, and then it updates the hardship guidelines.
Anything from council?
I'd be happy to offer and approve it on consent, as this is a housekeeping item, and I'm good with it as long as my colleagues are.
Anything from the audience? Name and address, please. You have 2 minutes.
I'll be quick. Christopher Martin, great state of Michigan. And this kind of ties in with number 2, okay? But we talk about the compensation rates here and stuff. First off, back in 2018, members had to go to classes every 2 years for this. So I guess my question, along with the compensation rate. What is that? Usually that's set by the state, by the way. But what the compensation rate is currently, and if the 3 members are up to date on their every 2 years, their schooling, and did they give that form? There's a certificate that they give you. Is that in your package someplace? So have they actually completed classes within the last 2 years?
Yeah, so every year when Linda, the assessor, certifies our roll, she has to forward the 3 board member certificate to the state as part of the approvals. So if we don't submit those,
Yeah,
the board
so they-
would be invalid.
Okay, so to the,
The state tax commission checks and verifies those, yeah.
yeah, okay, so they, just to go through you, yes, they have submitted that. That's good, because prior to 2018, that's why the state created that law, that they actually know what the hell they're doing, because I had gone to those meetings and they were clueless, completely clueless. It was sad to watch. What is the compensation? Usually that's set, it's per day also, it's not per hour or anything. It's usually that's set by the state, but what is that currently? Because I haven't looked that up in the last couple of years.
It's 120 for the chairperson and 100 for the other 2 members per day.
I thought it was more than, I thought it went up to 150 a couple of years ago. Well, I guess we're getting a bargain then, I guess, on that. So, okay, those were my only questions. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so this will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 5. This is a request authorization to execute memorandum of understanding for DIA Partners and Public Art Program. This comes to us from the Department of Parks and Rec for the installation of a community-driven mural at Ben Chelani Play Area. Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Council President. Ted Davis, representing Parks and Recreation. This, if Council remembers, I believe last year we came before this body asking for the approval to apply for this Partners in Public Art Program through the Detroit Institute of Art. We were selected. Yay. That's awesome. So this is moving forward. We're asking for 2 things. One is to authorize the law department to execute this memo of understanding for the installation, and 2, for a member of your body to participate in the work groups that we are beginning. So I'm happy to answer any questions council might have.
Ms. Budzinski?
I'm so excited. As you know, our efforts for art in Livonia are not quick, but you are persistent, and I appreciate that, Ted. So I'm very excited and want to offer an approving on consent. I certainly will volunteer, but I won't take up all the art fun in Livonia if one of my other colleagues prefer to do it.
Anything else from council? Anything from the audience? Name and address for the record, please.
Steve King, Coventry Gardens. Will there be a citizen? Will there be any citizens on this?
Sorry.
That's
Okay,
all right.
Sorry, guys.
That's fine.
I practiced the 2-minute thing, and I got it to work.
Just one question.
Okay.
Will there be any citizens on this board, committee?
Mr. Davis?
A council representative lives in Livonia. The mayor lives in Livonia. They would both qualify as citizens, I believe, correct?
How about an artist, somebody like Dave Messing, who owns the art store in Moore, or one of his sons or daughters, someone who is an expert at art and murals? How about throwing some citizen representative other than an elected official?
Thank you. Mr. McCullough?
Just to clarify, both communities that I've worked for have done this program, and it's pretty awesome. And a lot of times, the committee, the art is where the city is given choices. So we might be given 5 pieces of art that Ted would probably have to pick from, or the committee, should we say. But they dictate a lot of it. They use it's an awesome program. If you haven't seen it, I think I'd like to see more. I'm sure you would too around the city. Yeah. But it's a great program that people can see art, and the DIA does a great job, but a lot of it is pushed from them, should we say, the process.
Okay.
My brother, Jim, he painted like 10, 12 murals in the city. I should bring in his portfolio. This is long before any of you were born, but they were all up and down Plymouth Road, and they were spectacular. And unfortunately, over time, the business owners painted over them. So that's what I was thinking of, something like that.
Yeah, most of them, if I may, they're actually works of art. So it's already, they're just, a huge weatherproof copy, should we say, copy of the art, which is awesome.
Anything else from the audience? Okay, item number 5 will be on the February 9th, 2026 consent agenda.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 6. This is an award of bid. Also comes from the Department of Parks and Rec, and this is in regards for approval to purchase a pool chemical automation system in granular chlorine from budgeted funds. Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Council President. Again, Ted Davis representing Parks and Recreation. We're asking for council to award project. This is streamlining our automated chlorine and chemical delivery systems and switching us over to a granular chlorine. What is unique about this is, those of you that don't know much about chlorine, which probably are most of the people in the world, thankfully, we have right now a tablet system. There's 2 main suppliers of that. If you use the other supplier's chlorine, they discontinue your warranty. It's basically a game that is a never-ending battle you're stuck in. We are looking for simply going with a granular chlorine. We can use any type of granular chlorine. This would give us the biggest amount of flexibility in maintaining all of our pools throughout the city. We're asking again for this to be done at the Kirksey Rec Center pools, Botsford, Clements Circle, Sheldon Splash Pad, which Sheldon is not on this bid. It will be part of the package with Sheldon overall, but it would include on this the ability to purchase granular chlorine for a price per pound of $3.55, which they are going to hold for 2 years. So I'm happy to answer any questions council might have on this, on the thrilling subject of granular chlorine and automated delivery systems.
Anything from council?
I mean, I'd like to, one, say I'm glad Sheldon Splash Pad plans to have chlorine, because not all splash pads do, and it's a nice perk for cleaner kids. But I'd feel comfortable offering and approving on consent if there's no objections. I know it's a higher dollar amount, so if folks prefer it to be on the regular, I'm fine with that as well.
Anything else from council? Ms. McDonald?
This did go out. I know it went out for bid, right?
This was out for bid. We only had 1 bidder on this.
Okay. All right, perfect.
Anything from the audience? Name and address, please.
Hey, remember me? Steve King, Coventry Gardens.
It says 2 minutes. I don't know.
That's perfect.
It's not going out.
That's okay. That's okay. You can use your watch. It's okay. No, that's cool. All right, couple of things. Put this under the column of doing what we've always done. Chlorine goes from between $3.50 and $10 a pound, and there are many, many safer, better, healthier alternatives. There's ozone generators. They're 2 times more efficient than chlorine at killing bacteria and viruses. UV light reduced chemical needs by 60%. Bromine, less irritating on the skin. And our neighbors in Bloomfield Township have just converted to a saltwater sanitation system. It uses salt pure technology, which is a form of natural chlorine that doesn't rely on traditional tablets or liquid and is gentler on the skin and air quality, especially helpful for people sensitive to chlorine byproducts. So instead of doing what we've always done, which I guess we should have bumper stickers for that. Livonia, we do what we've always done. Let's look at some alternatives, and let's try maybe just singling out one pool, the one at the rec center, where it's most used by the seniors, and let's do something different there. The other thing, well, I won't talk to anything else because this is just about chlorine. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from the audience? This will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 7, this is an award of bid, also from the Department of Parks and Rec. This is in regards to the resurfacing of tennis and inline hockey courts at Dufour Park, and this is from budgeted funds.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. Again, Ted Davis representing Parks and Recreation. We're in the home stretch here, thankfully, with me anyway. These are projects that should be done every 5 to 6 years. We're a little behind schedule on this. It's been 8 years since those courts were redone. You can go out there and you can see a great number of surface cracks and some that are getting deeper. All this simply does fill cracks, applies a patching system, and recoats it. That way we can keep these courts well maintained 40 years, hopefully, and not have the larger expense of redoing them. This did go out to bid. We received 2 bids on this project. We're asking council to award to the low qualified bidder, Laser Sports Surface, in the amount of $33,850. I'm happy to answer any questions council might have on this.
Mr. McCullough?
Thank you. I'd be happy to offer and approve it on consent.
Thank you.
This is proactive, it's affordable, and it went out to bid.
Anything else from council? Anything from the audience? This will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to number 8, award of bid, also from Department of Parks and Rec. This is for the purchase of 2 agri-metal greens rollers from budgeted funds. Mr. Davis?
I'm actually going to bring our greenskeeper, Doug Ware, here to talk about this project.
Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Douglas Ware. I'm the golf course superintendent for the city of Livonia. This is a award of bid for 2 golf course greens rollers, for one for Whispering Willows, one for Idlewild. We got two bids on them. 2 bidders. The low bidder was Revels Turf and Tractor, and the amount of $50,050.50. And we'd like to go with that bid if you guys approve.
Anything from council?
I'd be happy to offer an approving on consent. As always, you seem to pop up during winter that Mr. Davis drags you to this, which I like to see because it usually means that spring's on the way. I'd like to take a minute because there's thousands and millions of people watching right now, and there probably are. I don't care what anybody says. Our courses are awesome, and we appreciate it. I'm not good at golf, and these probably are not going to help my game, but I appreciate knowing that we have 3 incredible public courses in the city. So appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything from the audience? All right, item number 8 will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 9, award of bid. This comes from the Public Works Division, and it's for the 2026 right-of-way tree planting program with the option of extending through the 2027 season upon mutual agreement from budgeted funds. Mr. Moore.
Evening, Council. Doug Moore with DPW. Council, this first item was advertised on Mitten. The mandatory pre-bid meeting was held on December 16th. We had 10 contractors attend. The bids were opened on January 6th. We had 6 bids received. We're planting 450 trees this year, 38 different species approximately from our approved species list. Next year, we're going to plant 400 trees. Crimboli Nursery out of Canton Township was the low bidder. The 2026 program will be $155,250. The 2027 program will be $144,800, and funds are available in the road, sidewalk, and tree millage.
Anything from council? Mr. Brockway?
Yes, I'd like to offer approving on consent.
Anything else from council? Anything from the audience?
You knew I was coming.
I did.
I was just curious if this is the same contractor you've been using over the years, or if it's somebody new.
Same contractor.
Okay. That's not good. The trees we get are as big as my pinky, and most of them don't survive a year. In Coventry Gardens, my neighbor has had a tree replaced 3 times. So maybe we could ask him to get a little bit more mature trees, something that's going to actually survive when they plant it. Thank you very much.
Anything else from the audience? Name and address, please.
Cindy Fleming, Livonia. I have one of the trees that was planted on the boulevard. I have to say they aren't great, and one of the reasons they are not surviving is because the contractor is literally only digging a 1-gallon size hole in the boulevards to plant the trees. And they're not gonna survive very well. The one that I have is in our lawn, did survive only because we tried to nurture it along, but it will never be a thriving tree. It is an oak, and the leader was broken. and actually tilts, and the whole tree from the trunk, right where it's the ground, it curves. Actually, the arborist has been out to see the tree only because a trimming job caused a mature maple and our next door neighbors to be completely damaged and have to be taken out when the dump truck hit it. So the arborist had to emergency come out, and when she saw the tree that was planted on our boulevard, who supposedly she had seen it before because the day it was planted, I complained. She didn't think it would survive, and it was supposed to get assessed this summer. I never saw it be assessed, but the stakes were removed. I still don't think the tree's going to survive. I kind of worry that this particular contractor is providing a substandard product, and they are installing it in a substandard way.
Thank you. Anything else from the audience? Anything from council? Ms. Budzinski?
Mr. Moore, I know we are also accepting the second lowest bidder in this, proposal before us. Has there been consideration of, comparable work in other communities? Obviously, I know you guys are bringing this one forward because you think it's best, although I do think we have consistently heard some concerns about the maturity of the trees and their lifespan, or needing to have them replaced. So if you can provide any feedback on the alternative bidder, or what made you go with the lowest Paradise Greens opposed to or Crimboldi Nursery versus Paradise Greens?
Well, with Paradise Green, it automatically is an increase in price, number one. Number two, I don't know them from Adam. Haven't heard from them. Other than this bid, they've never bid on a project before. Crimboldi has bid. They've worked for the city of Dearborn, where Holly Molesky, our roads and parks supervisor, had worked with them for years. We have worked with them on tree sizes and issues with planting over the years, and they have gotten a lot better. They hand dig their holes versus using a machine. They do handle the trees much better than some of our previous contractors that we've had, and their trees do meet the contract specifications.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McDonald?
Thank you. By any chance, do you have a list of the trees that possibly survive, have a better survival rate than others, or any listing of success that we can maybe use those type trees instead of, the ones that keep dying? I know oaks have a hard time, establishing and maintaining.
So we have 38,000 street trees. 48% of our right-of-way are maples, various sorts of maples. The Asian longhorn beetle is sitting out there waiting to come in and start eating all our maple trees. We lost 3,298 right-of-way ash trees because of the emerald ash borer. We are trying very hard to diversify our list. We have a couple trees on our list that do not do well. Turkish filbert comes to mind right away. They've got a fungus. So trees that don't do well, we normally don't plant as many of them, but to increase the diversity, we still use them.
Right. I understand. So, thank you.
Anything else from council? Ms. Persicone?
Thank you, President. So overall, you think they're easy to work with when there's issues that come up? They've been receptive recently. They are amenable to hearing if you have concerns, and you think they'll work with you?
Yes.
So hearing these concerns about the size of the hole, and you don't have any doubt that you think you'll be able to work with them?
No doubt whatsoever.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else from council? Great. Item number 9 will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026. All right, moving on to item number 10. This is an award of bid, also from the Department of Public Works. Parks Department, this is for the Ford Field backstop and dugout bench replacements for diamonds number 3 and number 6 from budgeted funds. Mr. Moore?
So this project was advertised and listed on Mitten on December 8th. We had a pre-bid conference on January 7th. We had 6 bidders attend that. The bid was opened on January 13th, and we received 4 bids. Nationwide Construction Group out of Richmond was the low bidder at $30,440. This project will consist of removing and replacing the two backstops at Diamond 3 and 6 at Ford Field. If you're familiar where Spree is, those Diamond 3 and 6 are two of the four where the rides get set up. 3 and 6 are at the east ones closest to the parking lot. And they will replace the backstops and the players' benches.
Anything from council?
I'd like to offer an approving on consent.
Thank you. Anything from the audience? Great. Item number 10 will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026. Moving on to item number 11. This is an award of contract also from the Department of Public Works. And this is for the fats, oils, and grease, or FOG, prevention treatment through December 31st, 2026, with the option of extending the contract for 3 two-year extensions with a 3% cap increase in pricing for 2-year extension from budgeted funds.
So council, on this one, I would like to introduce our new Assistant Director, Zach Hoppola. Zach has come to us, and with Don Roraff leaving, I need some help introducing things to council. Zach will help cover. He's going to cover a lot of the water stuff because that's not my forte. So Zach gets this one.
Welcome.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. Excited to be here in Livonia. But yeah, as Doug mentioned, I've got a pretty extensive background in water and sewer. And so tonight before you, we are looking to award a contract with Eganics, who the city's been absolutely enthralled with working in a cooperation with them since 2022. They have been doing extensive inspections on fats, oils, and greases, as well as actually treating those lines and reducing significantly the amount of labor that we are spending trying to jet those lines. So you will actually see that this contract is for 1 year with actually 3 options to extend. So again, that gives us opportunities to reevaluate that contract every single time. Right now, they are the sole source provider of this product. And again, we've actually won an award through APWA utilizing their services. I've won an award with them at a previous community. So again, their results really speak for themselves.
Thank you. Anything from council? Ms. Wadzinski?
I really thought Mr. McCullough might take this because I feel like FOG and
I can, if you want me to, I'll take
I
it.
feel like it's a very
Listen,
council introduction to council is FOG. Take the floor.
If that's all right.
Mr. McCullough?
Yeah, no, this is, if I'm correct on this, this is all the nasty stuff that goes through our sanitary mains. You can
Yes.
look at that. And honestly, over the last few years, the reason we haven't had problems is because of this proactive approach. So while you are new, your predecessors have been doing a good job, especially, I still remember, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, Mr. Moore, that we went to, we've got, what's the fancy water system for the internet? SCADA.
Our SCADA system,
yeah.
yes.
And so obviously that's a huge thing. So
Yes.
this is just a testament if you're happy with the company. It did go out to bid, and there obviously is some extensions, which is par for the course. I'd be happy to offer an approving on consent. And nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well.
Anything else from council? Anything from the audience?
Yeah, Steve King, Coventry Gardens. When fats, oils, and grease, they converge, they form what's known as a fatberg. I'm sure you're familiar with that term if you know about water. Has there ever been a fatberg in Livonia? Have we ever had? I know they have had issues in Macomb County and some other counties. They've had those. But have we ever had that issue prior to any of this?
Yeah, so again, I've been here for just, I think we're hitting a month now.
Oh.
But I can assure you, we've got, with 540 miles of sanitary sewer, we've absolutely had those issues, right? And so this contract is having them come out in numerous locations every single month. So we're being proactive and getting to that before it builds up, allowing it to not coagulate further down the line, and it breaks it down into at the molecular level down to water and CO2, so it can't bind back up.
Do our restaurants and things of that nature, they dump oil into the sewer, or that they're not supposed to, right? Is that
Correct, and so that is actually in another program in conjunction with Eganics. They are actually doing inspection for us, and is my understanding in other communities that the businesses and their interactions with Eganics have been extremely fruitful, because not only is this a detriment to our system, but it's a detriment to theirs, right? And a lot of times they're having to constantly jet their own private sewer leads because those are backing up. So, yeah, it's.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, this will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026.
Thank you.
Okay, just a reminder, item 12 was removed, so 13 now becomes item 12. So item number 12, request for authorization to purchase one 2026 Ford F-150 Super Cab XLT 4x4 pickup truck through the state of Michigan and Macomb County bid process. This comes from the Public Works Division, and it's for use by the Fleet Maintenance Department from budgeted funds. Mr. Moore.
So this truck is being purchased from Lunghammer Ford out of Owasso on the state contract pricing. Truck and Trailer Specialties will be doing the upfitting, which consists of a light package, a spray-in bed liner, running boards, and a tonneau cover. All told, the cost for the truck, the upfitting, and a 5% contingency to cover for tariffs and anything with the building of the truck is $64,351.35. It will not increase the fleet. We will dispose of an old truck through the auction process.
Thank you. Anything from council? Mr. McCullough?
I'd be happy to offer and approve it on consent. Cooperative purchasing agreements, state of Michigan, and we have Macomb. Mr. Moore, you're nailing it, man. If there's no objections from my colleagues.
Anything else from council? Anything from the audience?
Yes, Steve, Coventry Gardens. I was just curious about how large is the fleet? Last time I went through the yard, I couldn't believe the number of trucks there. I mean, there's more trucks than we have employees to drive them. So if you're replacing somebody, so you say the fleet's not getting any bigger, but how big is the fleet? And does it grow every year? It seems like council is approving requests for trucks over and over and over again. Just wanted to point that out.
Mr. Moore, did you want to answer that? You don't have to.
I don't have the information.
Okay, thank you. All right, item number 12. Oh, all right, one more. Sure. Name and address, please. You have 2
Jerry
minutes.
Karasinski, 19488 Bainbridge Avenue. Just one quick question. So this is a Ford. Are Chevys and Rams available as well? And what's their pricing? Is it higher than this?
Yes.
That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Anything else from the audience?
I do have one
Ms.
question.
McDonald?
Mr. Moore, the vehicle that we're replacing, how, just for general knowledge, how old is it in condition in miles? You don't know?
Don't really know the miles, but in the line of work of DPW trucks, miles are not a good indicator.
Right.
Trucks that plow snow, like our trucks were today, it's very hard work on a truck. We could have a truck that's 2 years old and have burned out transmission.
Right.
We had a foreman's truck who we had bought 3 or 4 years ago. It burned about a quart of oil a day. So we disposed of that through the auction process just because it had a bad engine in it. The truck that's being replaced is probably one of what was a frontline vehicle in roads, parks, or water, was a plow truck, is an F-250, and is approximately 8 to 10 years old.
Wow.
The
Okay.
trucks that we are getting rid of are in that range.
Right. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Great. So item number 12 will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026. Item number 13, request for authorization to increase the amount of rock salt purchased for ice control. This comes from the Public Works Division. It's utilizing a cooperative bidding process through 2029 from budgeted funds. Mr. Moore.
So this year, we take part in the Farmington Hills Consortium, which is approximately 30 governmental entities around this area. Farmington Hills bids it out. We take part in the pricing. Every year, we have to give an allotment amount that we commit to each year. We have to take that amount, and then we can take 30% over. This year, we increased our allotment from 2,500 to 2,800 tons, which increases our allotment up to our take to about 3,500. We did not increase the funding with it and realized it when we got to about 2,300 tons ordered this year. So we need to increase the cost with it. And then that cost will increase a little bit each year with the increase from Detroit Salt.
Anything from council? Mr. McCullough.
All right, hey, you guys feel free to jump in, but I'm just, listen. Mr. Moore, just a quick question, because obviously, with the salt and obviously the timing, so this is, we're still getting the same pricing, you're just asking for a little bit more.
Yes.
Yeah, and I can tell you that a lot of communities right now are struggling for rock salt. So for you to come here and say, we've got a way to get it and it's the same price, kudos to you and your team. Be happy.
We are getting it. Detroit salt's been a little slow, but it's because the weather and the amounts being ordered right now there's a lot going on.
It's getting to that point with the winter, but I'd be happy to offer an approving on consent if there are no objections.
Anything else from council? Anything from the audience? Great. Item number 13 will be on the consent agenda on February 9th, 2026.
Thank you, Council.
Yep, thank you. And finally, item number 14, this is a request for additions and decertifications to the local street system for the 2026 Act 51 computations. This comes from the Engineering Division, and this is regard for streets or portions thereof newly opened or no longer open to public traffic in 2025. Mr. Lear.
So this is actually a yearly housekeeping item that we have to do with the state of Michigan and our Act 51 funds. Each year, we have to report any new road segments that have been installed and open to traffic. We actually kind of caught a weird system where they did a map update, and there was two segments of roads that were not on the map, even though they had been paved and open to traffic for 40, 50 years. And as well, there was 3 segments of road that they had on the map as being open that were either bicycle paths or just green right-of-way with no roads. So this is more just trying to clean up the yearly map reporting and funding.
Anything from council? Ms. Persicone?
Thank you. I'd like to offer an approving on consent for this one. Get my approving on consent in.
Anything from the audience? All right, item number 14 will be on the consent agenda on February 9th. Do we have any audience communication? You'll have 3 minutes. All right, going once, going twice. And that is any closing remarks from council? All right, that is the end of our study meeting. Good night, Livonia.